Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Kate from Pixie Designs and I have a journal flip through for you today. It's kind of a Christmas nativity type style theme and I've used Golden Prayer from Sam Poole Designs. So this is a journal to highlight some of her digitals in her shop and I'll link Sam below. It's made with a copy of a beautiful music sheet cover, The Gift. And I have treated that with some matte medium and then spray sealed it with some acrylic spray sealer, and then I've covered it with this vintage tulle. The top piece that closes the journal is made from some scraps that didn't get used in the journal, so some old wallpaper and this beautiful vintage lace sort of ruffle here with this beautiful sparkly piece on top and some seam binding, crinkle seam binding. I have a video making that and I'll link that below. So yeah, it's super tall but still quite nice and wide for working in. I really like them a little bit wider. Now inside we have this beautiful book page with this lovely artwork in it, which I've included. I was going to put that in the center spread but decided to keep it more neutral, but I love that beautiful image. This has a pocket. We're lined with some heavy upholstery fabrics that makes the cover really lovely and flexible but still really robust. In this pocket we have a New Zealand first day cover with this lovely imagery on it from 1960. A French postcard of a cathedral. There's no stamp on this. A piece of ephemera and a tag from the kit, which I've used some glass glitter on and placed this French vintage medal and some of this Tim Holtz chain on there. A lace pocket on this side with a card from the kit backed with some of the paper from the kit. Golden Prayer kit, did I say that? And I'll link it, and this has got this vintage writing paper on that. A beautiful book page with this lovely rose on it. And I've decorated the back of that with a very large doily and this collage piece here, and you can slip something into these little bits here if you like, or glue them down. I just wanted to make that an option. This is very similar to a journal I made last year and I just love this kit so much I wanted to make another one. This is some vintage blank music manuscript with a lovely little snippet at the top here. Some vintage music paper with this beautiful vintage lace and this washi tape down here and here, which is strengthening the page because it's old. Some tea-dyed paper, coffee-dyed probably, and some stamping with some gold heat embossing on there. A lovely lace pocket here with this card, which is backed with some very old book page. This page is from the kit and decorated with one of the little prayer cards, and printed on the back is this lovely foxed paper. This is some old ledger, blank ledger. Here's some lace and another old postcard here from Brussels, I think. Here is a tag I made using one of the cards, and then some scraps and some lovely millinery flowers. And this is backed with one of the pieces from the kit. And the little clip here is decorated with a bit of bling. Over the page here I have decorated with this little pocket, and behind here I've tucked some very old New Zealand ephemera from 1887, Carterton, and in the pocket is a little prayer card from the kit, and I've printed the fox paper on the back of that, and a little image from the same book as this, but it had a whole lot of little pictures of the art that was in the book, and some tickets as well in there. some vintage tickets, some vintage lace. On the other side is this lovely snippet I've made with this piece of jewellery on this chain and a rusty paper, safety pin. This paper is from an old postage stamp album, and again I've done the heat embossing on this side. Another piece of art from that same book, and that's backed with some of that straw paper from Rachel at Roxy Creations. This lovely embossed piece with some vintage lace on it. This opens out and it has a very old piece of lined paper attached to it. That is from a document, a very old document. This is from the kit here. This is the document I'm talking about. So it opened out and I've used all of it, or it included all of it in this journal. And I've got some embossing there of that lovely rose embossing folder that I've got. And I've made this sort of lace ruffle here on the side as well. So this centre spread is a piece of very old music. It's the cover, and so I've strengthened here. I've strengthened it. I've put some light paper on the back to strengthen it. I've also used some masking tape, and then I've used this washi down the sides. On the strings I've put these lovely little hearts that are made out of some scrapbooking paper that's sort of like a marbly, or it's actually like a peeled paint kind of look to it. And then I've made this little tag with a pocket, and in this tag is another little tag that says dream on there, and also another one of the little cards from the kit, a little embossed pocket there, and on the back is a piece of very old book page. And then on this side I've just clipped this card from the kit, again with the old book page on the back, and this page is covered in this beautiful lace. So here's the other side of that document. Another pocket made from a sort of a handkerchief that I own, and this sort of piece that it's double-sided, and I've put the lace around it, so it's got two images on either side. And in here is a piece of embossed handmade paper with that lovely rose emboss on it, and some vintage lace, and a little cluster of papers. This is from the kit, some very old birthday book, and a piece of old ledger, something from an old prayer book, and some old note paper. So that can all be unclipped. It's just held together with that book corner metal book protector. In here is a notebook, and it's just very plain. It's got mostly vintage papers in it, so the lined vintage paper, some old just drawing paper, some more of the postage stamp, and like one of my library cards with decorated with this frame, but mostly it's plain. And just a little notebook for writing in, and there's another one of those little pockets there with just a couple of little stamps, New Zealand stamps. This paper here, obviously, as you can see, is pianola roll paper, but again it's doubled to give it strength. The other side of this paper with the embossing, the other side of the coffee dyed paper. Now that opens right out, and you can see there's this lovely sort of lace impression on there, and this is the rest of the document that has been used as a page. So I've included that. There may be a date on it somewhere. I think, yeah, this is French. It's that beautiful rag paper. So yeah, I've included that. And then a card I made with some of the scraps. So I did a sort of a long sort of masterboard with the scraps, and then I put this card on top. A little cluster here with a little flower made out of sari silk ribbon, and I've stitched around that in gold thread. A little fabric flip. I just loved this fabric and I just thought it was sort of good colours for this journal. The other side of that lace pocket, and I've included this old book page from the 1800s, and again I've doubled it over because it was quite thin. I don't know why, I just doubled it, and I don't know, I love all the writing and stuff on it. And on this side I've got a little tiny dried hydrangea up there, but yeah, I just liked the look of that and I thought it suited the journal, so I've included that. And then this card, Raphael, The Marriage of Mary. Down here I've made this resin sort of frame with one of the images from the kit, some flowers. These are by Tim Holtz, and just this little dangle hanging down off it. I'll try and do a close-up so you can get a better look of that. Some more of that beautiful stamping, and this gorgeous pocket. This is probably my favourite sort of spread in the journal, with this lovely ribbon and the doily, and another, that's a vintage millinery flower. This image down here with the embossing, and then this very tall tag, again made out of the scraps that I did a masterboard with, and then this image that I have cut out of a Girl's Own magazine, so from the 1800s. Yep, that took me a while. Had to get the knife out for that one, but it was fun, and I did that while I was chatting with Barb, my friend Barb, and my sister Jo over Facebook. So this folds out, and there's this frame that's in the kit, and I've just tucked this behind it, just one of the images, which is backed with some book page, and I've just popped that down in there, but anything can be popped behind there. This could be torn off or used elsewhere. The other half of this beautiful manuscript paper. This is again decorated with the doily and this beautiful image, and that's the other side of the rose book. Here's one of those paper clips. I've got a video making these and using postage stamps, so I will link that, and that is attached to that page, as you can see. And on the other side I've placed this image from the kit, and then I've got this little dangle on the side. This is the other half of that lace pocket, and there's another image from the kit, again backed with that old paper. And the front back, it's similar to the front, with that whole piece of linen wrapped through. In the back pocket here I've got one of those little pads of scraps, so this is from the kit, and then most of the other things in here are vintage or antique. So this is something, sort of a receipt from 1889, a rag paper book page from a French book, some more of that paper, so I really have used that to its best that I can. Some of that very old music manuscript with the hand drawn music on it, and with a little image from the kit stapled on, and some very old ledger paper. Oh, and a check. A French check, so that's the bit that wraps right around. So the French check is from 1908. So yeah, some beautiful old pieces in there that can be taken apart. They're just held together with that string, taken apart and used in the journal. There's a postcard in the back, which is actually a Christmas postcard, and I don't know, 1919, so that's antique. And this piece of ephemera, which is an original sort of prayer card that I have, and then another one of the tags here. And then I've made this little fabric or lace sort of thing. It's got a little button attached to it. It's got a little clothing label, and just some various old vintage and antique pieces of lace, and a little medal attached. It's all gone all cattywampus, but that says love on there. It's all twisted up, but that's okay, we can sort that out. And yeah, that is the journal. So heaps of space for writing and journaling in, and it could be a Christmas journal, it could be a prayer journal, it could be anything. This journal is for sale, it's available, at this stage of the video going up. So if you're interested, just email me. My Etsy shop is closed at this stage. You can message me on Etsy or anywhere really. I'm easy to contact. So yeah, if you're interested in this journal, just let me know and we can chat about that. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day. I hope you're all well, and I'll see you again soon in the next video. Bye.